Good evening. Today is March 3rd. S&P 500 closed down 52 points, almost erasing Monday run-up. Nasdaq closed down 380 points, almost 3%. It is now down for the year. Tech stocks were sold off hard today as Cathie Wood's ARK Innovation ETF is now down 22%. And people are concerned that it's going to spiral down even more. People are worried that the crowded trade would lose that momentum. The three top stocks that her ARK ETF holds are Tesla, Square, and Roku. They all have tripled in the past year, and all three were down more than 5% today. On top of this, the economic reports were disappointing today, and inflation showed up again. ISM new orders disappointed, but prices surged. In market report, the rate of job creation eased to the slowest in 8 months, but inflation was also there. Cost pressures remained elevated, with inflation accelerating to the fastest since 2009. Beige Book also had inflation there. Most prices were rising moderately, and some were rising notably. On this news, bonds were down, and most of the commodities as well. Gold, silver, soybeans, wheat, lumber were all down, and only oil was up today, 2.4%. Bitcoin was up, trading above 50,000, as high as 53,000, and now around 51. It was on the news that Gary Gensler was nominated as SEC chair, and he was perceived far more supportive of cryptocurrencies than originally expected during his yesterday's Senate hearings. And finally, Friday, we have an employment report, and I think I recall that Thursday before it has a bullish bias, but I'm sure Victor will correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, my turn.
Mm-hmm.
I was wrong today. I thought we'd have a good day for stocks. Instead, the bonds were down 1.5 points. Strangely, it was not a woke day. The stimulus bill has so many boondoggles, so many special things for example, it has for federal employees, it gives them like a 4-month leave of absence, paid leave of, everything's paid, of course, when you work for the government. And there was a lot of negative stuff about Cuomo. If one more thing happens, he won't be able to dodge it. The president's approval rating has started to fall, and his disapproval rating is really increasing. It's a battle royale. However, we should have a very good day tomorrow. The European and the Japanese markets were up or hardly down. They're at a high relative to the US market. The market likes to force week out before the employment. Big down Wednesdays before employment are very bullish. Yeah, the day before employment has an average expectation of about 11 points to 11 o'clock, more so when it's down the previous day. Anyway, a lot of bullish things, and the week have been forced out. I had tweeted about a professor of mine who is the consummate teacher, Fred Mosteller. He points out in his book, his autobiography, The Pleasure of Statistics, that every individual does a lot of counting every day. It's good, but sometimes the counting is not systematic. He wrote 555 articles. He was very famous in the statistics profession. He chaired the Continental Classroom, which went to hundreds of thousands of people at 6:30 in the morning. And he was the chair of 4 different faculty groups at Harvard. No one is 4 different faculties he started, like biostatics and biostats and statistics, social relations he was chair of, and taught at the Kennedy School. He was a great man. I'm glad that I had a chance. I wrote my thesis under him. I never realized how great he was when he was my thesis advisor. A lot of times you look back and you wish you'd been more appreciative. I admired him a lot. And when he prepared an article, he had 555 of them. He prepared 10 different drafts. When he gave a class, he would simulate the class. He would give the whole lecture beforehand for an hour so he could tell how long it was going to be and what he should cut. He was a consummate professor. Everybody loved him. He lived in Belmont. I like the fact that he was a bridge player, a real bridge player, and a chess player, poker player, a folk dancer. He had a lot of hobbies that helped him with his counting. I recommend his book, The Pleasure of Statistics, and I wish he were around to hear my appreciation of him. But back to the drawing boards. Expect a good day tomorrow. Of course, yesterday it went straight up to 95 and to 36.95 several times and failed. So again, that should be an area for a lot of stops there. We've been about 9 or 10 days without a new high. A lot of things are good. You have to bear with it a day like this and batten the hatches. Make sure that your money management is proper. As I was saying yesterday, it went straight up until about 8 a.m. and then it started declining. I think there's a lot of revulsion concerning the stimulus bill. Everybody knows that that the economy is doing very well. There are very few positive cases are decreasing, hospitalizations are decreasing, vaccines are ready to go out to everybody. It wasn't a woke enough day, because when the president starts bad-mouthing Texas and Mississippi and Florida because they want to give people a chance to run their businesses and to have normal social relations and to handle meetings, family the way they wish, by individual choice. So I think there's revulsion against that, and of course there's still revulsion that he's in the basement. So let's hope for a more woke day tomorrow. That will help the market go up.
And I want to close with my favorite Mark Twain quote. Now that we talk about statistics, he said that there are 3 kinds of lies: lies, damned lies, and statistics.
Well, of course, that's the opposite of how I think you should fathom the market. I think you should always try to do it quantitatively and counting and systematically and test everything.
Right. But I think his point was that most people use statistics to find and confirm their biases, not to show them what really is. Like the 95% of climate scientists agree, that kind of stuff. That people use statistics and in medical science as well to justify the drug they want to pass or the bias they have, as opposed to discover the truth. But in markets, obviously, you have to use statistics not to confirm your biases, because that's not going to last too long.
What do you think is going to happen to Governor Cuomo?
I think he'll eventually resign. He refused to resign today, but they will force him out. I don't think apology is going to be sufficient.
That will create a contagion. Look out above.
Contagion in what sense?
Once he resigns for Me Too, there was a lot of outcry against the president for his Me Too behavior. He's in his basement, and Kamala Harris and the progressives are biding their time. Anyway, let's hope that all the wokes get their acts together tomorrow and they don't do anything that creates revulsion. Okay, remember, the more woke the market is, the better it is. Okay, see you tomorrow.